Moves are all there. Um, Orientation black. I was black in this game. Um, what was my opponent's name? I can actually look it up really quick. If I go to this particular website, the USCF website. This was the tournament I played in, and you saw my real name. And let's see, how did I do? What were my opponent's names? Oh yes, I can tell right here. This guy, okay, I got a buy in the second round. This guy's name was Daniel Bowers. Another young opponent. My first opponent was kind of young, probably close to my age. Um, this was a very nice game. This is the one game I won in this tournament. He's kind of like, probably like 18 or something like that. My third opponent, I think that's this game. Yes, I was black here. Oh, yes. This was against a person I knew from Seattle. Uh, Her name is Felicity. Yeah, she's actually like, I think 11 years old. But she did really well in that tournament. And then this game, oh yes, of course. I was white in this game. Yeah, and I was white in this game. Perfect. So my opponent here, he didn't really speak English in the fourth round. And his name was Amurbek Kobanov. He's a kind of an old, he's a pretty old guy. He's kind of like Eastern Russian, so he was kind of Asian. So yeah, I put the verses, whatever. Obviously, it's my name, so I don't need to put my name in there. But if the verse is on the right, that means I was black, and if it was on the left, it was white. Just go to my imported games, and yes, this was the last game I played. Um, I can always reference these games. This is where they have the computer analysis. Hello, M7 Heart. I actually thought you were Turnip for a second. You have the same name color. And the same badges almost. But welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's a chess stream today. There might be some con gameplay later. But I thought I'd do something different. Because I've mostly always been doing con. Those are some nice emotes, by the way. Uh, Benji, Token Squirrel, Big Boy. Hope you're enjoying... Oh, and it's your own emote. Yeah, I got your own emote too. Cheeky. Oh, yes, there you go. Very nice emotes. Thanks for the share. I hope you're enjoying September. It's been a nice little month here. Haven't really streamed. This is actually my first stream of the month. I keep getting distracted by other things. It's kind of the problem. So let's just study this. Decent month overall. That's glad to hear. I haven't been really working too much, which is I think good news. I got a big paycheck, so pretty happy about that. And then like work has been kind of slow. So my last opponent, his name was Peter Livesey. He's actually from Washington. He actually works at Airbnb. I'm not sure exactly where that is, like up here. Peter, oh frick. What? P. Yeah, a lot of Washingtonians go down to Oregon to play in the tournament. And I was black. Okay, so I'll just be analyzing the screens. Maybe I should play like a warm-up game, but I don't know. I'll probably just go straight into the analysis. I'm not really like this is the first game. This was really just an opening. This was really just opening theory. The first game, taking is correct. Well, there's another line I could go for. Knight f3. Let's see. How can I make this? I want to make this slightly bigger. That's definitely better. Knight f3. I don't know, because he could play something like, for instance, d4. I'm trying not to use the engine first. And then once I kind of exhaust my analysis, I try to. That's when I use the engine. So for instance, well, obviously d4 just loses a knight, so that's we're not going to play that. We could just take here. Let's see. If I take here, if I take with a d pawn, and he takes here, then that's not good for him because I can just trade queens, and then I can just regain this pawn. So that's nothing. Don't really need to worry about that. I don't know if taking with a d pawn is best, however. Like this line, I can play d4 here. So d4 is coming here. Yeah, so anyway, I kind of want this pawn to be on this square. So it's more easily attackable. So this is a mistake, and the reason why it's a mistake is because first I'll show you the line that went in the game. It went like this. He plays queen d4 to defend, and I play f4. However, if I go queen g4 instead, and he tries the same thing, I have this really nice move, knight f3, and note that there's a pin on the pawn here. So if he takes it, obviously we take the queen. So that's why queen g4 is better, and it turns out the best line is f4, defending the pawn, and then en passant, and then queen takes, and then queen takes pawn. So I don't really want to delve too much into this one. But anyway, I ended up with a worse position because basically this is what happened. He defended, and I pushed this f-pawn, which is kind of a weakening move, and I'm just doing it to protect this pawn. Of course, if I play knight f3 as in the other line, he just takes it, and there's no queen takes. There's no queen takes d4 here. Pawn move into a French defense. French. I used to play the French, so m7 hard. Are you talking about this move? This move might be what you're talking about, because we have the French pawn structure. I used to play the French defense as black. I don't know. After he takes here, then this pawn doesn't have. This pawn's kind of backwards on d4. I used to have a game like this, and it was just a draw. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, f4 is necessary here, but it's already, you can tell, it doesn't count it as a mistake in the analysis, but already you can tell that white is much worse here. It's just an opening mistake. So you say move the pawn one space instead of two. For example, oh, like d3 is what you're talking about? This could be playable. I could check the database later. Yeah, he controls the center, controls the game. Yes. This is an interesting line. It forces his knight to move. Yeah, of course. He'll probably. Well, I think he would take here, and then he would take this pawn. Well, instead of taking back, I should additionally push, and then I'll eventually regain this pawn. But he has ideas of going c5. Yeah, you might be right. This could be an option. I'm curious to what the database says here. This does look like a good line. This does look. He could counter like. No, this doesn't work because just knight takes knight. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the reason why I don't have a webcam is because I started working out again. I usually try to work out in the mornings. I try to do everything in the mornings because that's when I'm fresh, but keep getting distracted, and so I haven't showered yet. But that's quite an interesting line. I'm wondering what the database says about this. So knight takes c3, top move by far in terms of number of times played, and now d takes c4, and now d4. This is what I was thinking. And then c5, this actually scores better for black according to the database. Not exactly sure how the engine will see it. I do like white's pawn center. So bishop takes c4, c takes, and then bishop check makes a lot of sense. If bishop block, queen takes. This is actually pretty good for black. So like, that's interesting. It's an interesting line though. I didn't think it was good for black. But yeah, I already can tell black is better. Yeah, bishop takes seems to be a mistake. I don't know. I'm not really seriously considering this line. I'm just really speculating here. Well, anyway, the first game wasn't really that interesting. Well, actually, it's what is this? It's equal? It looked like much better for black, but I guess it's equal. Bishop d6. Just anchoring the bishop on d6. Yeah, it's pretty strong. Pretty hard to get rid of this guy. He is covering some key squares. If he goes queen check, then I assume just king f1. And I think it's like pretty equal, I guess. But anyway, I kind of want to get back to the main line. But anyway, what happened was I actually had a really nice game. I think I put it in here against Laura from Chiquitas, and they don't stream anymore, which is really unfortunate. And it actually went like this. And here's the link to the game. I'll click on that later. But I think before I do the analysis, I think it's much more beneficial to warm up. But anyway, this is how the game went, and it actually turned out to be black was much better, but then I equalized because black made some mistakes. But it was a blitz game. It wasn't a the time control, by the way, was game 50 plus 15 seconds. Strange time control, but it makes a lot of sense. And it's actually exactly half the time control for the 3-day section, because I was playing in the 2-day section here. Well, but already black is much better here. And we're technically still in 3. I don't know what sigma means. Oh, total. Oh, that's an added feature that Leech has added. The total number of tries from this position. That's a very nice one. Very nice one, Leech has. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to jump right into a game here because I think it helps to warm up. I'll play some 15-15 because my classical rating is not as high as I'd like it to be. But that was really quick. I'll just play some... oh, what the heck? This person just aborted. I think he meant to click on another seek. I think that's what happened. Alright, that didn't take too long. This guy's 1600. I wonder how this game will go. He could be like a 2000 player in disguise. But we're in a Sicilian here. Bishop c4. Very common response among players who don't know the theory. I'm trolling. But e6 obviously the most interesting response. Do I really need to play a6? Probably not. I actually kind of want to try a different line. I do want to achieve d5 as soon as possible. So this kind of makes sense. You mean like this m7 heart? Pawn to d4 like this? It's a space gaining move, yeah. My opponent's rated a lot lower than me, so I have a big feeling that I will embarrass myself. Yes, but this isn't really a theoretical line in the Sicilian. He just plays... He's kind of playing it like a king's pawn opening, where he puts his bishop on c4 and his knight on f3. Pawns like that. I don't want to accidentally make a move. So he could take once and go bishop b5. I'm not really worried about that, though, because I can always defend with queen c7. I'm not worried about the knight coming here. I just want to develop. And now it looks like an exchange French pawn structure. Of course, bishop e5 with a pin. And we do want to get castled as soon as possible, so I do like bishop e7. A lot of times my opponent plays bishop f4. But I'm not worried about this either. Because of the open e-file, of course. And yes, we both have more time than we started with, which was 15 minutes. I'm actually tempted to put on some ASMR music, because it's a very calming stream. So I'm going to pin the knight. Threatening to win a pawn, letting him take on c5. It looks okay. Actually do have relaxing music playlist. I could put that on. As far as copyright is concerned, I'm not sure if it is. If I take here, he has an isolated e pawn, which is different than an isolated d pawn, apparently. So we'd both have an isolated pawn here. I could also push. Does pushing do anything? I'm pretty sure this is just a fork. If he plays knight a4, take, take, take. I also have queen a5. That's kind of interesting. I could calculate this. Here, here, takes, takes, equal. Then I take here. Rook takes. His knight's kind of misplaced. I have a majority on the king side. He has a majority on the queen side. Oh, queen b3 looks like a fork. How do you defend against queen b3? How do you defend both pieces? Queen b3 looks quite good. One of his attackers is pinned. So he's got two attackers, three defenders. Another line you could calculate is peer takes. Takes. And I still have two defenders on that square. Yeah, I'm liking this line. I'm going to go for it. Again, my opponent is kind of low rated, so it wouldn't surprise me that if this works out for me, that he didn't calculate it quite right. Okay, so he quickly plays bishop f4. He has 3 seconds under the starting time. And I'm pretty sure this just wins a piece. Just takes the knight. I don't think he has any legit threats. You could trade queens, but my rook just comes into the game. And I really don't see anything he could do. Okay, now he doubles his pawns. So we just trade queens, and then we take the knight, and we get him some more double pawns. It's a bit sus. I don't think he can penetrate with his rooks, because it's well guarded. So now I just need to trade off the rooks. I'll re-up a piece here. Okay, bishop c7 just looks like a desperate attempt to pick up the rook or something. You could just go here. And then just follow up with a6, b4. I mean, it makes sense. I just keep control of the file. I just gotta watch my back rank slightly. So he has no sets of connected pawns. So, what chance does he have in the endgame, given no connected pawns? Am I right? I could sacrifice the exchange, but that would undouble his pawns, but completely unnecessary. How about just a move like a knight here? Forcing a trade, or bishop h4, and then just f6. He can't really attack me from here. And then with the idea g5. Or even just knight e5 here. Hitting the bishop and the pawn. He does have the move bishop f5 though. But is that really any concern of mine? Bishop f5 takes bishop, takes rook, takes rook. I mean, you could calculate this. It's probably unnecessary. Takes bishop, takes rook, takes knight. So yeah. I don't think it works for him. You like the double pin yourself? That's good. Double pin. I don't see a double pin on. Where's the pin? I don't even see a single pin. Oh, you mean this pin? I see this one pin. I think that's it. Both the pawn and the bishop. Oh yeah, so oh yeah, there's also knight f4 here. F4 is a really good square for this knight. He still has this move, however. Bishop. Whoa, Mr. 6 Honor, welcome. Thank you for the sub with Prime and for 6 months. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. 6 Honor. Much appreciated. I will give somebody a sub right after this game, don't worry. I'm just going to play f6 here. He does have a check, but do I care? 6 months, Mr. 6 Honor. Thank you so much. I'm going to stay true to my title, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong in this position because I am just up a piece and his pawn structure is just awful. If he checks, I'll just go, okay, this is what, yeah. See, so now I can just go rook back safely. Yeah, just go back. Now, yeah, cutting off this bishop, yeah. Yeah, this game, I hope this game is over in the next 5 minutes. If it's not, then my opponent's probably stalling. It's showing, okay, that's funny. He just left the game. Yeah, we're going to give this a try now. I'm going to just wait until this guy's over. So 90 more seconds, I can claim a victory. I mean, if this guy's rage quitting, I don't really blame him, given the position. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we're doing some classical games and some game analysis. So now that I've gotten back into tournament chess, I feel somewhat motivated to try and grind a few games and try to improve upon my previous play from the Oregon Open, which was Labor Day weekend, a week ago. Okay, 30 seconds. Here we go. And I've actually never done this on stream before. But we're going to try it out. Hopefully no technical difficulties. And yes, we hardly used any time in this game. Hardly used any time, and I'm happy to not use so much time, because I'm notorious for using too much time. Okay, let's okay, alright, here we go. We're going to try something now we've never done. We're just going to go to my profile, wherever the heck that is, which is here. And here we go. Oh shoot, did it work? Yes, indeed. Here we go. Hopefully nothing is showing. I hope my credit card info. Well, it's not. It's not. I'm quite sure. Let's see if this works. Who's gonna get it? Looks like someone named the Terrorizer from Shadow. Wait, let me read that again. The Terrorizer from Sweden got a sub. Congrats, new sub. And thank you, Mr. 600, for starting the thing. Okay, well, I lived up to my stream title so far. Just one sub, so And guys, if I didn't have a maximum, I'd probably go broke, but you can use the command maximum in the chat. Just so you don't give me 100 subs thinking I will gift myself 100 subs. So just putting it out there. Just be careful before you gift. But anyway, let's try another game. That was a kind of an easy game. Just not gonna lie. Okay, I did get 4 rating points from that. That's not too bad. We actually were quite a bit higher. What was my highest? 2163 is my highest? 2186 was my highest. Achieved 23rd of March 2021. So yeah, we'll just start another game. I was not too much challenged by that last one. And plus, very little time was used. Yeah, so create a game. Should I choose... Let's just do random again. They'll probably give me black again, but whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping the stream can be kept up for a while without me getting tired or whatever. Okay, looks like we're playing a 1700. Good luck. Still, okay, this is very strange move, very sus move. Pretty sure a6, just kicking the bishop. He has nowhere to trade. And we're just gonna... So now I actually have an extra tempo. So an option is knight f6. e5 kind of complicates things. Not really interested in that line. I much prefer e6 with the idea of e5. So of course he has to go back to e2. And then we'll play bishop e7, target the pawn. Then I'll probably have to play d3, just defeating the purpose of the bishop coming out in the first place. But then again, he could put his bishop here. This could be something. But my bishop's here to oppose him, so probably... Okay, this is a very strange move. In the Kopek system, you can move this knight and then play c3. But this is not looking like that. This also pins the pawn to g2. So I think it's pretty clear we want to play bishop b7 here. Okay, so another tempting option is pawn f5 here. Going for this, somewhat of an Owens defense type thing. I did not move this bishop out, so it's not quite as good, I don't think. I don't think I need to do that, though, to exploit my advantage. Perhaps just knight f6, and if he pushes, then we take. And then we have, we lost a piece, but we're gaining this rook. But then he has bishop here. But he can't actually do that, because if I take on e4, then his knight will take, and I'll take on a1. I'm pretty sure about that. So just simple knight f6 also creates a threat of b4. So e5 is the trying move, and I think I want to take here. So I have 2 pawns for a piece momentarily. And he can't really save this rook unless he wants to lose this other rook. So I'm pretty sure this is just winning. It's close to winning for black. If he plays e5. It could also just be winning right now. Yeah. So yeah, threat is b4 here. His pieces are quite awkward. Okay, so he defends it. Very sensible move. So if I play b4 now, his knight has to go somewhere. Probably back to d1, so it's at least centralized. I don't think I want to play d4 though, because then this diagonal is not open anymore. He's probably going to play knight f3 next, and then the pin is nothing. I'm not sure b4 is actually the best idea. Not entirely sure about that. Perhaps maybe just knight c6 with the idea knight d4. But then he just has knight f3. I have too many arrows here. So just knight c6, knight f3. If I go here, he can take. Knight goes back. Yeah, I'm not sure I really have much in this position. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe, I was going to say d4 with the idea... I think he'll just take it, though, because of the e-file. With the idea of c4. Or also just knight here with the idea knight b4 is also doable. Let's just go knight c6. Yeah, so if knight f3, the plan is simply knight b4. Okay, he doesn't do it. So now we have knight here. This is kind of interesting. So, okay, so maybe knight b4 is better, but both moves are tempting. At queen e3, we have potentially knight here. And then c4. So, like, for example, here, 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 hitting the knight. I don't know, to be honest. Honestly don't know. So what to do about this knight? Well, f4 might be a possibility. Takes. Takes. But then bishop takes, and then oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't think I really want to trade the knight for this bishop, that's the thing. I'm just going to go knight d4. I'm pretty sure this is something. So just here, 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 here. f4, because now there's no queen h4 check. But he does have like a move like h3. And then there's even e5, hitting the queen, protected by the knight. And then the queen has to go to g3 or g3 actually. And then after that, yeah, it's looking a little strange. It's looking a little strange. Unfortunately, we can't really go c4 because the knight hangs. So e5, but then there's knight d4, and he can take my knight. Yeah, so anyway, here, here, here. Oh, he can't, wait, actually e5 might actually, no. Takes, pawn takes. And then he has bishop takes, maybe? No, what am I talking about? Here, here. Takes, takes. Bishop takes. Takes here, takes knight, takes rook. So I'm kind of trading a knight for a rook, aren't I? Kind of trading a knight for a rook. Well, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to kind of trust my instincts here. He really only has one option. That's here. Queen f4. So I can either let him take and then take back and then take on g2 or something else. Oh, queen g3, that's right, huh? Queen g3, I think. Oh, this does defend the pawn. This does defend the pawn and also kind of gets out of any attacks. Actually, c4, does c4 just Ah, too many arrows. Stray arrows. So now the queen is just defending g3. I still think I like this move, though. Or g2, rather. Yeah, if he takes, I could probably just go knight back. It's another option, I think. Pretty sure I'm not playing this the best way. That's pretty much the only move, I think. Now knight h4 is a knight h5 is a possibility. If he takes, for example, you can only go queen here and defend g2. I don't know. So right now I'm down a pawn. Probably just take back with a pawn, maybe. I mean, his queen at least is in an awkward position. Yeah, I mean, it does cover g4, so that's useful. Some cases. So he left the game. What is this? Well, if he's going to give me a victory, I'm going to claim it. Okay, well, that was interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I could have taken advantage of this. Guess I could analyze it. What study I should put this in? What should I call this? I should call this, So I'm not exactly sure how I could have taken advantage of this, because he was wasting all kinds of tempi here. And this position just looks really bad. So how exactly do I take advantage of this? I think he played it okay. Perhaps e5. Okay, this just wins me a pawn, because I could just take and then... I could just take and then take. And that just wins up... Wait, no, but then this pawn's hanging. Hold on. Hold your horses. What if I take with a knight? Still hangs a pawn. Because I want to play c4. And this is check. Well, I'm not sure if he actually wants to do that. Oh, this doesn't work because it attacks the queen, and then I just win this. And I have 3 minors. So maybe this does work. Yeah, this probably this looks like the way to do it. This e5 knight d5. So this is somewhat of a mistake, but I'm still slightly better. So queen g3, and then just knight f6. After f5, it's kind of equal. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to push a pawn in front of the king, but I was trying to get something out of this. So, I don't know how this exactly would play out. I think I should just develop if I were him. I would just develop if I were him. Now rook c8. Maybe he'll castle queenside. Maybe that makes sense. So I'm struggling to figure out how black is so much better. Here. And how is black better? And I guess I went a pawn here, and that makes sense. And there's a lot of lag here. So maybe I can adjust some settings here. So yeah, I am still threatening to win a pawn. I am still threatening to win a pawn here. But what if he just repeats the position? What if he just goes what if he just goes queen back? Still better for black. Just bishop e7 and then he develops. I guess knight e2 makes as much sense as knight c6 is best. I still don't think this position's that bad. Queen, why not just castle? Why not just castle? Why not just castle queenside, for instance? So now I strike in the center. Now it's looking really good for black. I guess I'm opening up the okay, this is a bit complicated, but not exactly sure how interesting. Interesting little queen trap here. Very interesting line. Very interesting line. That's why you have to play h4. But yeah. I don't know. This is just really complicated of a position to understand. But I don't know. I guess developing normally and just letting white do his thing is what should be done. And of course, after this, it's kind of equal. F5 just goes against opening principles. So anyway, I will I'll just start another game till I get some sort of a challenging game. Probably put on some classical music. Okay, so now my opponent's slightly higher rated, 1831, and this time I'm white. Which will inevitably get muted no matter where it's from in the VOD. And it is time to eat for me. Okay, so he goes for this. I'm thinking just I'm pretty sure this is the line, just attacking this pawn. Can't play knight c6. So he plays d4. Okay, well, that's also a line. D4 here. And then push. This is possible. And so we just develop. Not a very testing line for white. White just, I think, develops. I'll play some classical music, I suppose. I really should replace this track. It's very... It's not the finest quality, to put it lightly. I'm thinking knight g5. It has 142 views, and I played it probably 100 times. And it's still going to get muted inevitably. Bishop here, pawn e4. Bishop here. I don't know, this is kind of dangerous because of the discovery, so probably just skip that. So yeah, I assume just castle. Not trying to be fancy here. H3 with the idea, yeah, king h2. In case he doubles queen and bishop on the diagonal. Yes, my eating noises are kind of bad, so I think I'll mute the microphone here. Well, if I go knight g5 here and I go here, for instance, you can go just bishop g6. So I'm not sure that's really worth it. However, e4 does make the threat, but then he just plays h6. So I think a good plan would be, like, for example, e4, h6, knight h4, with the idea f4, and here. Yeah, but also the knight is on h4. I still like e4 though. I still like e4, even if that doesn't work. h6 makes sense. Probably just bishop e3 and then queen d2, threatening a sacrifice. Yeah, I'll turn off my mic. I think this this works. Shoot, I have like no juice on this. They move so fast, I can't even take a bite out of what I'm eating. And yeah, I could trade knight for bishop here. It's actually possible. He might welcome that trade in this closed position. Yeah, so I will delay that for now, I think. Yeah, so muting the microphone now. Turnip Swagger, welcome back, and thank you for the subscription at tier 1. Thank you so much. And my microphone was off because I was eating. But yes, welcome back and thank you, and you were able to catch a chess stream here. I'm glad. I'm glad. So, this is kind of interesting position because, here I do have the pawn at f5 and I'm attacking. His pieces are quite passive here. Other than that, it's kind of a symmetrical pawn structure. So, I'm thinking, this move does hit at the bishop. But if he does take, I have to take with the c-pawn just to, then he can trade off, which I don't really like. Bishop for knight. Might inevitably have to bring the knight back here. Or I could just simply play g4. At least I get rid of this knight. That's kind of important. And also this square's covered. That's kind of important too. Because in some lines that square is not covered. Right now I'm playing some games, but I will get back to analyzing games from the Oregon Open. I'm just kind of warming up here. But yeah, thanks for asking. I think I'll just play g4 to solidify this pawn. And just prepare to bring my knight back. Makes sense, I guess. I don't need to spend too much time. I'm already down on time. I feel like I need to be in the right mindset before I get to analysis. And don't worry, I will give to sub out once this game is finished. As per the title of my stream. And yes, we have these squares covered, which is pretty good. We don't have to worry so much about we don't have to worry about the knight coming in here. Oh, by the way, 3 months. Thank you so much for 3 months, Turnip. 3 months. That's a long time. So thanks so much. And yeah, so I guess I only have one move, and that is back. I only have one move here, I'm pretty sure. And now the sack is a real threat, or a real possibility at least. So the question is, should I take with the bishop or the rook here? If he takes my... And yes, it's true I haven't been streaming as much as I'd like to. I keep making excuses. And keep getting distracted. Apparently I like being a viewer more than a streamer. But it's not really improving myself as a person, I don't think. So he declines the trade, so I could just avoid this trade by going maybe knight here. But then this hangs something. This knight is... That knight's hanging on h4, so... g5 is a possibility. I definitely think that looks quite good, actually. He can take in between, but then, I don't know, I assume maybe rook takes. I'm really not sure about this, but maybe not rook takes, maybe bishop takes, because we want the rook to come to the g file. Then he takes, then I take. This does open up the h file, which is pretty nice. And this is actually looking quite good, I think. Because my queen is going to soon get to the h-file. But if I take with the rook on f3 instead of the bishop, Uh, that might be good too, because then I just play rook g3 and it's on the g file. I'm really liking g5 here. I could take on d4 with the bishop, but then I'd have to move my knight, which would hit this, but then it invites more trades, which not too excited about trades in this particular position. So yeah, I'm going to go with g5. And I'm pretty sure he's going to take my knight here. So, should I take with the bishop or the rook? I'm leaning bishop. I really think bishop, because the queen could also slide over along the second rank. Okay, so he just goes knight back. Okay, interesting. So I think if I just play f6, this just forces something to open up. If I play g6, pawn takes. The king hides on h8. Yeah, I actually don't like this because pawn takes. He can play f5 and then bring his knight back into the game and just leave the pawn on h6. So I don't quite like that line. Not easy to break. Well, we'll see about that. Perhaps. I think you're right. It's not that easy, but... Another interesting move is knight h2, just avoiding the knight trade altogether. Yeah, I actually like knight h2 because it just avoids the knight trade. Let him take, but is that really a big deal? Because my queen gets on g5. I'm just going to go knight h2. I'm going to try this out. Yes, I am low on time. I guess I could just pre-move this. Okay, so he just slides his queen over, wanting to grab this pawn. I don't blame him. So how about just takes? And if he takes with the knight, I take, and then I just play like that. He has bishop g5 in that case. Queen f2 is possible. I like queen f2 with the idea h4. I can also just play h4. h4 is quite interesting. Just discouraging him from breaking it open. I do like h4 actually, quite a bit. Okay, so in this case, I think I can just go g6. I think I could just go g6, because he's threatening himself to play g6. And that kind of locks me in. I lose a pawn on h4, but who cares, really? Because I'm opening up as king. Well, actually, if he plays g6, I play f6, so... I actually think Queen d1, trying to just checkmate him right there. Well, not really, because I could just take his knight, but if he plays g6, I just trap his pieces. I actually do like Queen d1 a lot. Let's just do it. Funny, both our ratings end in 31. So if pawn takes, then pawn takes, defends. Or he could possibly play king takes, but I just simply trap his bishop. Oh, he might get a third pawn for it. That's kind of scary. Well, anyway, this is what I have to play, basically. I could sack the exchange here. He is hitting this pawn. Bishop f3. Bishop f3. Because... why bishop? Well, I also have this really nice square for my knight, so... even if I lose 3 pawns for the piece, it's really not that bad. I can't really defend this guy. Too many arrows. Gotta focus here. Just threatening the sack. How about that? This looks actually quite good because all I have to do is move my king over and I'm playing rook g1 next. Yeah, I'm just gonna go bishop f3. This looks so I'm pretty sure I want to take with a knight here. Do I want to take with the shoot. Stupid. He just takes it. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of this. What the heck? Pretty much have to go for it at this point. Pretty much have to go for it. At least getting queen h6 or bishop h6. Yeah, this h6 square is key. King g7, queen h6, or even bishop h6. Okay, interesting. I have this move in between. Oh, this is actually really nice, because if he takes with a pawn, I just take his rook. And then I take his bishop. It's quite interesting. Otherwise my bishop just hangs. And if I take it, then it's check. I pretty much have to go here. He probably wants to take with a king. But that's kind of ridiculous. His king's in a ridiculous spot. he takes with the king, just simply bishop takes and then king 8, rook h1, I guess. With the idea, of course, bring the rook to the g file. I don't have any checks here. I kind of have to take his bishop, or I could take his knight. It's possible too. Yeah, I'll just do that, and he didn't even free move it, so he wasn't sure how to deal with that, I suppose. Okay, he's actually up a pawn. So I do have this move, but yeah, just pinning him. I just pin him here. What the heck? What is he? He did not think about this at all. It's very sus. He This is just winning because he can't move his queen off this line. So he has to... Oh, I'm so stupid. What the heck? I didn't even see the mate. Oh, that was dumb. What the hell? What the heck? Yeah, it was very sus because he moved like super fast. So how do I improve here? Well, anyway, this is a really good attack, I promise. This attack is really good. I just didn't have any time. Excuses, excuses. So, it's kind of like both our kings are in the center. So, just king here. And what does he have? He just has this. And then here. But this is... No, he doesn't even have that. Well, then I just have to go back. So like this line, well, he can't do that because of this, but then I have to go back. This is at least a draw, but I think I'm better. Maybe just take the knight. This is the other option. Probably here. But then I could just take this. But I am threatening this, so I think this is better. This is probably the way to go, I'm thinking. Because then rook f6 is coming, I think. Maybe just take here and then go rook here. Doesn't do any much. Well... Well, should I whip out old stockfish? This is he has to go here because he loses if he doesn't. But then that's just mate. So this is just winning here. This is just winning. If he goes here, just guarding h5. If he takes it, then he's gonna get mated, I'm pretty sure, because there's just too many mates. There's just too many mates. Like, this does nothing. So, you know, this is really bad for black. I'm pretty sure this is a blunder. Just allowing this G file to open up and, yeah. So the question is, okay, just here and then try to escape that way. But even then, this is not like, this attack isn't like the best. Well, anyway, I'm going to do as I promised. Wait, I did not close... I closed my tab. How stupid. I'm kind of dumb. I just... I just closed my tab. All right, Turnip, here we go. Here's the second sub of the stream. Let's see who gets it this time. This is actually kind of fun. Don't worry, I won't go broke because there is a maximum. There is a maximum. Alright, I'm stupid. I better not close this tab again because that would be really bad. Who got it this time? Relax, Anth. Never heard of you, but congrats on the sub. Okay, well anyway, was I going to analyze this game? I think it's worth a shot. To be honest, this is just a very complicated position. It's not like straightforward at all. Well, if he takes, then I'm just going to play Queen H5. So maybe I shouldn't take here. Maybe I shouldn't take here, but I did anyway, because that opened up the H file. Right now his king is on the H file, and so is my bishop, so... So maybe takes here. Pawn takes knight here. This, but then there's knight here. That's really bad for him. Then, maybe knight here? This is just crushing. I'm pretty sure this is just crushing. Question is, maybe just here? Just try to go there? He has to give up the queen. And it's still not good for him. I'm pretty sure this is what I should have done. I should have done something like this. And now should we break out Stockfish? I think. Yeah, let's whip out Stockfish now. Now's the time. Now that I've done my calculations. So yes, so it's actually a draw after I take here. That's a bit disappointing, to be honest. But, let's just say I go king here. Now it's good for black because... I suppose because of that. At some point, I think I was winning, though. Like here, how could you say this is not good for white? Was there anything better than f6 a couple moves ago? Great question. Let's maybe this. Maybe this. But then he could well, if he takes, I take. Maybe we could look at this. Hitting this and that. If I take here, there's nothing because my queen is not there. Oh, this is really complicated. This is really complicated. But I think f6 is the obvious move here. It's just the most straightforward way to play. Just thing is, I'm losing this pawn, but I don't know. You might be right. f6 might not be the best simply because I'm opening up my king too much. I do like queen d1. Here it's waiting for white. So after f6, it's still better for white. Still better for white here. That's not the best move. A very unexpected move, b4 or queen d2. I would not see either of these moves. I'm going to add some more lines here. See if there's any moves I would have found. There's actually a lot of moves that are and white still maintains healthy advantage. Okay, knight d5 looks like a good one. Knight d5 is a move I would have played. It was one of my candidate moves. However, b4 is not a plan I was considering. Bishop h, bishop c1, rook b1. The only move that really makes sense... Okay, none of these moves actually make that much sense. I would have played something like king h1 or bishop f3. I would play one of these moves. But now this is just a blunder. The position is quite hard to play. So like we could look at king h1, but white still has a tiny advantage. Yeah, this is a complicated position. I'm surprised that the engine won't take the knight. Are you talking about bishop takes knight here? Like, I don't know. That's not really a move I would have played. Just because I think covering this diagonal is more important than covering these two squares. In my opinion. I don't think I would have played this. But I would have considered it at least. Oh, you mean as one of the top moves. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess the engine agrees that covering this diagonal is kind of important. This is quite an interesting game to pick apart. The reality was I didn't have a lot of time in the end. Okay, in this position, black's already better. Here, it's close to equal. Equal. So, knight d5, queen d2, knight f3, b4. Not bishop f3, though. Not bishop f3. This is what happens when a positional player gets a complicated position like this. Well, I don't know. I don't want to delve too much into this game. I'd rather just, to be honest, start a new game. I'd rather just start a new game, to be honest. I'd rather just start a new game. And just try to manage my time a bit better. So here I'm black. So now we have a d4 opening. Oh, you know what? I should move my chat to the other side. I forgot to do that. It's a really great idea. Just move the chat to the other side. There. That makes a lot more sense, I think. Okay, this was a Nimzo. Oh, this was a Nimzo, not a Bogo. But it kind of goes into the same position. This actually transposes to my game. I don't think queen e7 is the best line. I actually think it might be knight hitting this pawn. Well, if he plays a3, I could come back. But that's not really the spirit of the Bogo Indian knight. But then I can go d5, and it makes a lot of sense. I think knight c6. I don't know a ton of theory here, but I just play it as I go. Yeah, so a3. Let's take and play d5. To me, it makes sense because we're just blocking this pawn from advancing. We're just blocking the pawn from advancing. I could be wrong about this. I could be wrong, but it's whatever. I don't know if you want to take with the queen, actually. This might actually... I actually kind of like the taking with the queen. Because she can't be attacked. Okay, so just castle, simply castle. Makes sense. This actually makes a lot of sense. Because now we're pressuring this diagonal. He can't fianchetto his bishop. We're influencing the board in a lot of ways. With the queen here. We could also just trade knight for bishop. Bishop has to trade for the knight, which is what I like. There's no choice in the matter. The bishop has to trade for the knight. And yeah, and then after that happens, we'll, you won't have the bishop here anymore. So you don't have to do this right away, because, because his bishop is not threatening to escape. So I don't really want to play b6 and weaken this knight here. If I play bishop d7, he can take, and I have to take with a pawn. But maybe that's good for my bishop, because it can come out. h6 makes sense, because if he plays bishop d3 and I take, he doesn't have takes on h7 with a check. I'll play h3 or h6. Okay, and yes, now he actually is threatening to win a pawn here. So f5, f5 he takes here. Probably want to take with a pawn there. Takes. And then what does he do? And then he castles, threatening to save his bishop. So I take here. Pawn takes. He's threatening... no, he's not threatening that, but... the position's kind of open in that case. I don't really like the fact that my position's open, and... I've traded off a good knight. I'm just going to take this bishop. Queen f6 is interesting. Queen f6 is interesting. So he does take with the pawn. So how about just takes and then e5? Trying to rip open the pawn structure. Okay, I definitely like b6 here. Why? Because he'll eventually take, and then I'll go c5, possibly c4. And I also have knight b7. Or if he doesn't take, then I will take myself. I have that option too. Also, the fianchetto of the bishop threatening this. Of course he's going to castle. Perhaps by then. I'm actually up on time here. So pawn takes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take with a pawn because queen takes, there's a few things he could do, including pawn to e5, e4 in that case. If he takes here, then queen g5 is also an option. And then he castles when I play bishop h3, I suppose. Just wishful thinking. Okay, maybe it's time to switch up. Nothing's happening right now, so maybe it's time to switch up the music. Something more upbeat, perhaps. Oh yeah, also bishop h6. Bishop a6 is also now a real possibility. Turning off that somewhat bad bishop. So yeah, my opponent is spending a lot of time here. Yeah, I did get him thinking. It's always a good thing, right? Yeah, perhaps this is not a bad way to play this sort of opening. His options are limited. Probably because I have a few threats. Okay. Well, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Because of the skewer. So, of course, then with a pawn. And now h3, which is kind of interesting. So now, this looks even stronger. Does he have to go bishop all the way back? Because if he castles, I just take on h3. So how does he protect the pawn? He could probably go f4. But then that provokes a weakness. Just queen here. I mean, like even f3, just queen here. Oh, no, but then I take on e3. Pretty sure this is a good move. All my pieces are protected. I don't really have any weaknesses. So, oh, he might castle queenside. Castle and queenside looks like, but then his king is on the queen side, which is, I don't think I want to take here anymore, because then rook here. That's just trapping the queen. So castle and queenside really makes you want to go for the attack. And again, my opponent is under 5 minutes. He's got half the time I have. I'm sure this is good. Oh, wow. King d2. Even more reckless than castling queenside. The Master John LLC TV, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you in a while, if ever. Oh, this is your first message in chat. Welcome, welcome. I've seen your stream before, I think. And also, you know, Turnip. I'm glad to hear it. I'm pretty sure c5 here is good. Pretty sure c5 is good here. I don't want to take here because my queen just gets trapped. And we cannot have that. If he plays here, then I can take here with check. It's pretty good. But I'm pretty sure c5 just opening up the position is the move. Is the move. I don't see any other move, to be honest. Other idea, c4, knight b3. There's an idea. Oh, that's okay, Master L. John. I haven't streamed. This is my first stream in like over a week. So, it's really easy to get distracted and not stream. So, that's kind of bad. He really wants me to take this pawn. But actually, the funny thing is, after I take, I can take here with check. And that, if he doesn't want to trade queens, he's going to block with his bishop. But this looks kind of dangerous. So, for example, Takes, he defends this somehow. Maybe here? Maybe just king over? Like, takes, king over, but then I have, I do have this check here. So how exactly does he defend it? Maybe he goes, if he moves his king back, then it blocks his other rook. So, let me think here. Well, he's probably going to play something like, okay, whatever. If he plays the rook to the g file, I can take here with check, and if he blocks with the bishop, I could always go queen h2 or queen takes h4. And honestly, I think that's good enough. I honestly think that's good enough. I honestly think that's good enough. I don't think his attack is that strong. So he's preparing to play this. If he moves his bishop back, there is the option of queen e4. I'm starting to like this. I'm really liking this right now, actually. Wait a minute. He plays rook hg1. Then knight b3 check. He might, so I could just go here, maybe. If he attacks me with a knight, I just escape. I always have this knight b3 coming. I go there. If he comes back, then guess I have to go back. And then rook. I think queen h3, and then I can escape this way. Then I can go to d6 or e7. Yeah, if he plays check... Oh, wait. My rook guards this square. That's kind of important. Mortal Kombat. You stream Mortal Kombat, Master John. Interesting. Guess I'll give you a shout out since you also stream. Oh, wait. Let me make my move first. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Can I not just take this? Because it hits the queen. Takes bishop, takes queen, takes pawn. That's a good trade. Yeah, if he takes with a queen, I'm pretty sure I could just take this. That's even better than I anticipated. And I think he just lost, because then I play queen e4. And I threatened too much stuff. Yeah, he must have missed this. Yeah, he missed that the pawn attacks the queen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, capturing the defender of e4. Yeah. Should I throw in this move, or is that completely... bonkers. I think it's completely bonkers and unnecessary. So just queen e4. Then I have the knight coming in with check. Yeah, for example, queen e2 is the only way to avoid the queen trade. Well, unless you want to go queen b4. Yeah, that's not so bad. Queen b4. I don't really need to be fancy here. If queen b4, maybe just bishop here, and then that. Yeah, pretty crushing, as turnips would. So what's he going to do now? He has 2.5 minutes left. Yeah, he's not really making any threats either. So just here. How does he stop queen c2? He has to go rook back. And then what, actually? I am Dr. Satan. Welcome back. Or welcome to the stream. I think this is the first time here. You're here. I think this is your first time here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can check it in just a second, but I gotta make my move first. First time you saw me online. That's cool. Awesome. We can always just take on h4 if this plan does not work. But at least... Yeah, so this does connect my rook, so I don't see why not. So if he goes rook c1, there's always takes on h4, threatening f2. And then there's just knight c4 trading knights, giving up a pawn for it, but still. By the way, I am Dr. Satan also streams, so let me just shout out the master. It's so hard to spell your names. Master John LCTTV. Did that work? Yes, it worked because they are playing chess. Okay. And yes, and I am Dr. Satan. You also stream. I think you're pretty new to it, so I will shout you out as well. And your name's quite easy to remember. And I also just learned that we're both Filipino. That's pretty cool. Yeah, sure. No problem. Of course, Master John. Oh, you know what I should do? I should make a slight adjustment here. Well, I have 5 minutes and he has 1. What is it? I want to change. Let's put this ahead. Let's see if this makes it look a little better. Isn't he just getting mated now? Did that change anything? Pretty sure I just want to go here. It's literally the only move. And then just take here. Unless I want to do something else. Oh, that worked. Yes, now you can see the view count. As long as the chat is covering it. I see. I should stop obsessing over my view count. I know. Small streamer problems. Yes, 3 possible moves. All of them lose. Spoiler. Why? Because, I just attack and win. So I guess he goes there. This is a possibility. Forcing a queen trade or forcing him to go here. Blocking the rook. Well, actually, you know what? How about just, here, if he goes here, I just take the pawn. And if he blocks with the queen, I trade queens. It sounds simple enough. Well, unless he has some sort of threat I don't see. Then I'll have all disconnected pawns. In case we reach an endgame. Yes. And what's his threat here? Exactly. I don't see it. Also threatening this pawn. Also threatening this. Just take this pawn, threaten the knight. But first, why not just force the king in front of the rook or something? Well, if he blocks with the rook, I'll take it with check. I'm just grabbing a bunch of material here. Whoa. Take the pawn and then take the other pawn. He could be threatening h6, but who cares? Yeah, I'm feeling kind of greedy for pawns here. Not gonna lie. Feeling kind of greedy for pawns. Yes, so I could sacrifice a whole queen for a pawn and I'd still only be down 1 point of material because material is all that matters in chess, right? Yes, and he has 12 seconds, but there's a 15-second increment. So now I have this move. Forcing some sort of trade, perhaps. Forcing some sort of concession. Yes, king h3, though. I don't really like king h3. Oh, finally, just simplify or something. I should... His king is... It's nice that his king is just blocking his rook. If he ever plays rook h1, then I have bishop e4, but, I want to get this, I want to get some other piece into the game. This is... Just get something into the game. Interesting. Interesting. So now this looks like actually kind of interesting. Because he has to go back. Otherwise he loses his rook with check. Or trade knight. Then I'm gonna play rook here. That'll be GG. Trade knight. Should we trade that knight? Should we play rook here? Because his rooks are basically doing nothing. I don't want his rooks to coordinate at all. Yeah, and the knight's pinned, don't worry. My opponent keeps it exciting down to the last second. Interesting. Pinning the queen. Well, he found a way to actually make it difficult for me. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this pawn, unfortunately. Well, I'll win this pawn, don't worry. Oh no, I'll go here, I'll fork him. Oh, what the heck? I thought it was my turn, that's weird. Yeah, you can resign now. Thank you for the game. Yeah, I'm kind of having fun with these games, but I did lose one, unfortunately, but kind of want to just get into the next one. Here comes the slow climb back to 2187, whatever it is. Dr. Satan, it's actually not a tournament. I'm just playing games, just trying to, basically just trying to practice here. Yeah, I don't know. I could check if there's a tournament, but I do want to play some long games. 15 plus 15. I keep getting lower rated players. Slightly annoying because I'm going to lose like 1,000 rating points if I lose one and gain like 3 if I win. And I did already lose one. Oh, Rossalimo. This one's probably one of the most annoying Sicilians. Also scores pretty well for white. Yeah, so I did gain rating points, by the way, if that's what you meant. That's true. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with the Seek taking longer. I already did lose to a player who was kind of low rated. I could just open up my profile here. Let's see, how am I doing? I lost 23 points so far. Won 3 games, lost 1. So yeah, do I want to play this immediately? Pretty sure this is the move. Okay, they always like fall back and do something like that. It would seem. And then we just kind of play it like the other games I played. Just develops slowly. So he can't play d4 or he loses the e-pawn. He kind of locks this pawn structure. Really have to pee right now. There's also knight g4 if he plays something like queen d2. Yeah, I'll actually be right back. I have to pee. Yeah, so I'm back. Knight g4, bishop f4, e5 is possible. And if bishop g5, h6 is possible. So I basically forced the bishop off the diagonal. Yes, and then maintaining a slight time advantage. Well, I caught up on time and then surpassed him. But haven't used too much time for the first 8 moves, which is good. It's not a complicated position yet. So just e5, bishop g5, f6 I suppose is possible. Bishop c4 check, king h8. But then the bishop has to move back if he doesn't want to be traded. Yeah, it's annoying that the bishop's outside this pawn chain. Possibly just h6. Possibly just h6, but let's... h6, h3... e5 or g4? Takes knight, takes bishop. Queen takes, I lose a pawn. Queen defends the pawn on g5. Is this really worth going for, or should I play e5 immediately? I don't want to weaken my position too much. Just queen b6 takes h3. But then I'm not really afraid to lose my knight anymore, because my bishop's not the greatest. And if I do nothing, he's going to play h3 and then bishop h6. Yeah, let's go e5, I think. Try to put some pressure on b2. Always like the Botvinnik type structures, even if it's not a true Botvinnik system. Yeah, f6, bishop c4, king h8. I don't like the weakened light squares at all. To be honest, I much rather play queen b6. h3, then just knight f6, bishop h6. Not afraid of the trade. I'm not really afraid, to be honest. Because I have pressure on b2, which he hasn't developed his knight, because I'll just go after this rook. Although I'll take here. Okay, now he's spending some time. Oh, c4, wow. Yeah, so now it looks like I'm going to force him off the diagonal. Interesting. Perhaps knight d4. So this kind of gives me an extra tempo to play h6. Just get his bishop off that diagonal. Bishop back to e3. I guess he could play that also. Yeah, but this severely limits his bishop. Well, anyway, I like h6 anyway. If it goes bishop e3, I'll probably just take it anyway. Or actually, perhaps knight knight d4 might be even better. Not quite getting there, huh? Okay, that one doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, we got the bishop out the diagonal, which is great news. So the question is, do we want to play a move like g4, g5 here? So probably just f4 now. Try to trap this bishop. Just try to trap this bishop. He's pretty keen on not trading his bishop, I don't think. f5 and then come back, takes with rook. This makes a lot of sense. Do we want to save this knight first? Do we want to bother? I don't really want to trade this knight for that knight. I'd rather have the open b file. The knight doesn't seem to do well on h4 or b4. I like f5. And if takes, I kind of want to play g5 later. So, I'm thinking take with bishop. Thinking take with bishop. Okay, so he trades, conceding the file, or rather letting me open up the B file. Now I'm just threatening g5 f4. I'm threatening just g5, f4. I think I'll win a pawn because there's bishop takes g4 after h3 takes knight takes check here. Oh wow, interesting. Oof. Did I just completely miss this move? What the heck? Stupid. If I lose that pawn, my position falls apart. Well, maybe not actually. Maybe not. Because then I have this open file, and these two pawns are protected. I'm actually trapping his bishop. He has to play something like h3 after takes and then rook. So, like, takes, rook d7, h3. Takes. And then I win back my pawn. Unless he wants to take here instead. What? But then... Yeah, but the knight it's trapped anyway. So... He's up a pawn. Equal pawns. Shoot. I'll end up winning the pawn back on, because then there's pawn takes. So after h6 takes, still down a pawn. I can't, if I take here, I can't really win my piece, so it's kind of pointless. So if h3, I'll just take here. Takes, pawn takes. Oh no, actually, I can actually take here. Then I'm just gonna win this pawn, I think. Yeah, it's actually looking kind of good for me. Takes, takes. And then pawn takes here. Threatening the knight, also threatening this pawn. Also threatening this pawn. Calculated already. Saving some time. He's still up a pawn, but it looks like I'm winning another back. I guess he could try something like this. But I'm getting a piece for a couple pawns. Rook conveniently defends g6. Interesting. Interesting. Yes. Oh, yeah, I also can take here. Interesting. Interesting. It still wins a piece. So instead of their knight d2, but then queen takes still hits at the knight. Interesting. He does not even. He does not even. Right now I'm up a whole piece. Somewhat threatening this. Yeah, he wants to deflect my rook away. Quite confident of that. Just take the knight and then play takes. Just take the knight and then after pawn takes we play pawn to g5. I actually kind of like that. I'm not going to think too hard about it. And then we have queen d8, which defends g5 also. Queen takes, interesting. Might be going for queen f6, perhaps. I kind of like the fact that my I like the fact that I have a passed pawn. I'll just play queen d1, d8, and then queen f6. Just up a whole piece. B3, that's interesting. That is interesting. What is the point of B3? I could just take this pawn on G5. I've threatened bishop E2 anyway. Rook guards the back rank. Queen E5 is the move I was most concerned with, but... Okay. Free pawn is a free pawn. True, true, but I always get in trouble for taking free pawns. Just defend everything. You can play G5, but that's like, it's really dangerous. I should not be worried about queen f6. Because just bishop takes c4. Wait, no. Wait, no, because my rook's undefended. It's true. Queen f6 is slightly concerning. If queen e5, I could just play rook e6. Yeah, just go here. Queen e5, rook e6. Yeah, and the plan is kind of simple. I'll just bring the other rook in. And then get the queen in somehow. Maybe queen back. Okay, so he'll win a pawn, but who cares? Because I'm up enough material anyway. How about just rook d8, and then if he takes, I take, and then I play bishop here or something like that. Bishop. Yeah, I don't really have any too good bishop discoveries. How about queen b4, actually? Queen b4 makes sense, because he doesn't want to take with the queen. Yeah, it'll almost force a queen trade. But then queen e5... Queen e5, I just go rook e6 again. So, like, okay, queen b4, queen e5, rook e6, queen c7. And then, do I just give up a piece or something? Maybe bishop d8. Maybe bishop e8. And then he takes my pawn. It's a little complicated. Yeah, I'd rather just trade. Well, I guess I gotta give away something here. Okay, if he takes, I'll play bishop here. How about that? At least all my pieces are getting into the game. Okay, everything's protected here. Well, he has queen e5 at the end, but if he takes the c5 pawn, I can play queen b6 and trade queens. So queen e5, queen d8 is the plan. Yeah, now I have control over this file, which is pretty good. Yeah, he can't take on c5 or I'll trade queens. I'll force a queen trade. Yeah, so wasn't it worth giving up a pawn to get all my pieces in the right spot? Yeah, so the threat is rook d2 and then queen d4. Okay, taking too much time here. Hurry it up. Okay, queen f4 hitting a pawn. Just trying to win a pawn. How about... No, I can't move, the heck? The rook is still hanging. How about just king, How about just, defend this? Queen d2, queen takes pawn, queen d4, check. King h1. Oh, and then I have queen h8. That's kind of interesting. Queen d2, rook d2, queen takes pawn, check. King to the h file, and then queen h8. And I trade queens. But the question is, do I really want to trade queens after all that? But I do give up a pawn to do it, and I'm kind of low on pawns. Is that good enough? Fine, let's just do it. I think it's enough to win, to be honest. Well, if he plays g4... Oh, that's interesting. He didn't do either of those. What the heck? Let's go. Undouble them. Just win that pawn. Just win this pawn here. And threaten to trade rooks, even more importantly. Oh, he voluntarily wants to trade rooks. That's quite interesting. Trade, takes. Why am I even calculating this? Push, king here. Take. He attacks it, and I take here. Oh, no, I can't even take this, but I'll win this one, though. So maybe it's fine. There's no hurry, though. I can just bring my king in. Hamzai, thank you so much for the raid of 5 viewers. Big, big raid. 5 viewers. Thank you so much, Hamzai, for the raid. Yes, we're just playing some rapid chess. Just hope you like the chill music in the background. See, the question, should I just do this? Because the thing is, he's threatening to make a passed pawn. No, this passed pawn will do everything. This passed pawn will do everything. I could actually just throw this pawn forward first. No, actually, he's actually going to come this way if I do that. So it just takes, and then push. And that I think works. And then I just bring my king in. The rest is history. Wait a minute. But even if I could always just play bishop e5 and then let him win something, but if he comes around this way, I'll play bishop e5 and I'll let him take it. Then I'm just have a winning pawn in game. Hamza, your raid is very quiet today. Oh, it's probably because I have it under followers only mode. So, followers off. I think that's the issue. There, did it work? Yeah. Internet broke while raiding. Sorry to hear that, but thanks so much for the raid. Appreciated. Just here, that's just h5. That's just game over. It did happen. You got 5 raiders. Thank you so much, Hamzai. Also, I think you've raided me in the past, so thanks so much for your consistency. Every move wins. I'm pretty sure some moves don't win. Well, I don't want to give him a position where he has this. I'm pretty sure I'm outside the square of the pawn, so. Okay, good game, good game. I don't know, do I have time for one more game? Or you want to see me analyze some games from... Stupid, I actually have to teach a class after this. But anyway, 4 o'clock. It is 3:35 right now. And I was just going over some games from the Oregon Open. I think I'm sufficiently warmed up, so... Yeah, so I played in a tournament recently, and I was just going over some games. So... this game was kind of bad from the opening, but the other games are quite interesting to analyze. Oh, what time is it where you are, Hamzai? What time is it? I don't know. Do I even bother analyzing this because I can't play b5 because he forks. This is just really bad. Like, every move is really bad here. He just has all this pressure. He has the outposted knight. He's got the bishop looking at this diagonal. He's got control of this file. He's gonna... Yeah, I want to forget this game happened, actually. This game was quite interesting because it's a theoretical line. This was round 3. I got a buy in round 2. 1:36 a.m. So you must be one time zone to the east of East Central European. Yeah, so this is actually kind of bad. If he goes knight f6, then I have to take this way. I know this is all theory. And then I simply go king... King here, maybe. Because I kind of want to stop him from checking like this. I actually have no idea what happens after takes on f6. This is actually, even though I lose an exchange, it's actually bad for... I have to play this move and not this one because there's some lines where you can take with check. Oh, very nice. You got 2,000 in all time controls. That's awesome. Let's give you a shout out. Hamza. Hi. Yeah. So, I was pretty certain of that, and there's actually a computer line I looked at, but I forgot what it was. Here's where the key move is. The key move is b4, because if takes, then we just have, I'm pretty sure knight here? I think this is the move. Or was that it? Here I'm threatening to... what am I doing? I'm not sure. Wait a minute. But basically I have this... I'm not sure if knight c2 is the actual move I should play. Oh, thank you so much, Hamzai. I hope you're right. Yeah, bishop h6 hitting the queen. That's if the king lands on this diagonal, though. So I try to analyze with my own brain, and then I try to use the computer. But this is a very complicated position, but it's also a very theoretical position. I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe queen b6 with this threat. This looks... Because how exactly does he defend this pawn? He doesn't have any checks either. In fact, he can only move his queen here. This is the only square he can move his queen. Let's just say this. Takes. Could play king over. Not quite sure. Even without knight c3 first, then bishop h6 at some point. Knight c3? You mean knight c2? Okay, well this is actually a very... He actually played knight c4, which is a mistake. Yeah, it would take me a long time to calculate this, but then I do get the fork here. Yeah, after this point, it's actually kind of winning, because this might not be the best game to analyze, because I'm just creating all kinds of threats here. If he takes my bishop, he actually gets mated. Check. Wait a minute. Well, actually, I do win the rook here. So that's one line. If he plays... Well, either way, I just win the rook here. Yeah, this is the kind of position where I do want to use an engine, even though it's better to use your own brain first. Yes, this was an over-the-board game. This was round 3 of the Oregon Open. This is the tournament I played in. So, yep. I did actually end up winning some money in this one. That's pretty cool. I actually do want to use the engine, although I do feel like it's cheating. Just to put some lines in here. For example, what if he plays knight f6? Queen takes f6 is actually bad. This is actually a pretty interesting move because This is actually losing. Because, like, if I go here, he threatens bishop takes here. If I go here, queen b7 check, bishop comes back. Yeah, even just c3, just kicking away the knight. b4 does nothing because takes. There's no queen c3 threat if he takes here. Yeah, but this is just winning for white. So if he plays knight f6, interesting thing is I have to play king e7, which is the only other legal move. And if he comes back, I get king e6. Otherwise, it's just a repetition. If he tries this trick again, knight c7, I play b4 immediately because it's not check anymore. I don't have to play king e7 first. And then knight c4 and then takes. This time I actually win a pawn. Wait. Because he had a pawn on c3. So it's even better. Yeah, let's just make it 2 lines here. What is my FIDE rating? It says on my Lichess profile, but my FIDE rating is 1743. Yeah, it turns out it's all theory. It's all in the database, to be honest. But it's actually just a very complicated position. Yeah, this was a line I had to... I'll just show you the game from the beginning. It was Sicilian Sveshnikov. So you're supposed to play, like, instead of takes, you're supposed to play bishop d3 and then bishop e6. But if he takes, it's actually good for me. I just had to figure out exactly how. But anyway, the knight f6 line was quite interesting. Yeah, I just want to put some moves on the board here. But if king here... c3, if you play b4 like you try... This is not so bad because there's the fork here. And then you just take the pawn. Whereas... this isn't available where the king is on e7. So anyway, I actually have something going on at 4, so I think I'm going to look for someone to raid. Let's just go to the chess category. Wait, it doesn't show category. Oh, here it is. I'll just find someone here. Probably this is a better way of doing it than... I follow most of these players anyway. It's probably a better way of doing it. Oh, wow. I actually am not that low on the standings. It's kind of interesting. Wait, actually look at my follower list first. So it's like... I don't see anybody. So who's a good person to raid here? It's too many choices. Too many choices. Lots of people streaming this. Yes, cheers to you too, Hemza. Thanks again for the raid. Maybe someone... I don't want to raid someone I've never heard of before. Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Gosh. At least I know one of these people. It's kind of silly. Ah, I'm so indecisive, you guys. So indecisive, I don't know any of these people. I didn't realize there would be so many chess streamers at this time. Yeah, maybe I'll just make it a surprise, but I will see you guys soon. I'm going to try to stream more often. I always say that, but I never follow through. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Stay tuned for the raid.